Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Hello.
How's everyone going?
It's a Friday.
Very good.
Night. Beautiful.
Friday night again. We have Marlon as well tonight, so full team. Don't know whether Warwick is going to join us either live or on the chat.
Even the birthday boy is joining us.
Hey guys.
Who's that?
Birthday boy. Who's the birthday boy? Let's see if anyone can guess that. That would be the guest of the night.
Absolutely.
So, episode 68, everyone. So, welcome in. So, it's another Friday night, 8th of October, again from home. Still in lockdown, probably another month or so, but hopefully not too long. So, Ronnie joining us, Shane, Jason. So, welcome, everyone. So, up for a good night.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. I think we've lost Marlon.
Lost Marley, but we got Warwick.
Oh,
Surprise.
Hello, everybody.
hello.
How's it going?
Good evening.
Hello.
Is my mic working? Is everything good? How's it going?
Yeah, it seems all right.
I thought that was
Everything's
Ed Sheeran for a
Probably
minute.
for a haircut tonight.
You're looking more and more
Yeah.
like Ed Sheeran every day.
Who? What?
Ed
Ed
Sheeran.
Sheeran. I
Ed
thought it was
Sheeran.
Yeah.
I'm like his unattractive brother that's much more talented but never gets the credit. So yeah,
Yes. You're writing the songs, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm a ghostwriter. Absolutely.
Good, good. Well, Martin is coming back. Let me adding on here. Let's see. Oh, it's loading.
Oh,
No, we lost him.
someone give that man some bandwidth.
Yeah, no, we're taking it all. Let's see. Once he's live. So, everyone, car of the night, or the week, or the day.
Hey.
It's me.
It's Tiny again.
It's little.
Little. Let's see if we can guess it.
It's
What
not a
car
Chevy.
You've been stealing Marlon's cars again.
And it's not a Fiat either.
It's not a Fiat.
Hey!
Here we go. Everyone
Oh,
here.
it is. He's back.
There he is. He's back on dial-up.
Back.
He's
It's
back
frozen.
and even better looking. No, it's frozen.
It's
Life is
frozen.
a game.
I'm surprised because he's had both shots, hasn't he? He should have the good. He should have the good hookup.
He should have the good reception. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's waiting for the booster, I think.
I think it's getting better. Is it getting better?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're lip
A
syncing.
little bit of a lag.
Little
It's like
late.
watching Squid Games.
Oh, that's
Think
good
it will
game.
improve.
How are we,
good.
guys?
So, what do we have tonight? Lots of stuff. I think there
We got
are
plenty.
several bread boxes tonight.
Stuff.
Several. I think there is a mega Tamiya car that Warwick has been working on. Is that true?
Oh,
Maybe.
is it mega?
It's
It's
fancy.
a learning experience.
It's
Is it going to
special.
be
Lots
the
lots to
great
say about it.
unveiling?
Great unveiling. Something like
BJs and
that.
seats and
Who
Don't,
wants to
don't
go
build
first?
it up. Don't build it up too much.
Cool. Who wants to start?
Rock, paper,
Oh, yeah.
scissors. Come on.
I think maybe Marlon, since we've got him all hooked up.
I was thinking
Yes.
age before beauty, but that's okay. I'll start first if you like.
Go. All yours.
Okay. I got a few things actually.
Bring
One
it
thing
on.
that I've been playing around with a lot is so going back to model railways, working with FlexTrack. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, they make a lot of Pico in particular, which is a brand that we love. They make a lot of track that's is really flexible. So the advantage is you can bend it to whatever radii you wish. The issue is working with this is there is a steep learning curve. You can get sectional pieces of curved track to different radii. The only issue with that is you might be limited in terms of like your geometry will be constrained in terms of what you're trying to build, and you can sort of get around that or fill the gaps with FlexTrack because it allows you to sort of make whatever kind of radius you want. But it's really hard to have a consistent radius. So it's nice to have a tool or some sort of a template to help you get that perfect radius every single time. One really great product is Trek Setup, which is supplied by Pico. And it basically it's a really sturdy metal template that fits between the rails. And this particular one is a 381 millimeter or 15-inch radius. So that's a fairly moderate, like it's not tight, but it's not super broad. And the idea is, I've got one open, actually. I've got one for doing straights. So I bought these for my own layout that I'm working on, just to help make sure everything is done to the spec that I want. And basically that works just by, when you have this on a flat surface, you just run it down the center, and it fits. This is 009 track, but it works for N gauge as well. And you can sort of see how there's a bit of a curve there, but once you run this through, it straightens it out.
So the slots in the middle, are those slots for the tacks? So you tack it along as you go to make sure it's straight.
That's exactly right. So there are these 3 slots. Let's see if I can put myself in the frame. And those allow you to hold the track into place while you put down tacks, which you would put into the sleepers to secure to your baseboard. And if you're using a curved one, for example, that's really handy because it helps you maintain that shape while you're tacking it down.
You're going to have to drill the sleepers and then put a little nail in, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Drilling the sleepers is a bit of a challenge because it's such a small area to drill a hole. One thing that I found really great for something like that is a pin vise. And I'm working on quite a few projects that required a pin vise. Let me grab what I've been working with. I really love these God Hand pin vises.
Whoa,
they're the best.
He's being converted.
I have. I'll be honest, it's the first pin vise I've used. And it's so shiny. Like there we go. That's a bit better.
Have you even used it though? It looks brand new.
No, I've used these ones. I just keep them in the box because I like everything in the original packaging. But they have a huge range of bits for these. I've been using the 0.5 through to 0.9 mil, and they work really well with the Pico tacks that they've produced specifically for drilling sleepers. And it just goes through the plastic sleepers like butter. It works really well.
It's a huge difference when you use actually sharp drill bits compared to average drill bits. I mean, I think most people are familiar with average ones. When you try these, it's chalk and cheese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my point of comparison is limited because I have had in the past limited experience with them, but these they go into whatever material that you're working with, like really smoothly, minimal effort involved whatsoever, and they're just machined to a really nice standard.
They're really nice how they got the thick shanks on them too, because they get your pin vise and gets held really securely.
Yeah, I think little ones is really good.
Yeah, super durable. But no, I just love it. Good tools are worth the money. They last a long time and they seldom break, particularly if you take really good care of them. So really, really happy with these. So all of the advice I've had regarding these has been true. I'm also using that for another project that I think I showed you guys quite a while ago. But I'm building it's an old AMT re-release of the Meyer Doom Buggy. Yeah, probably from the early 70s, late 60s. It's quite a simple kit, but it's really fun. And
the knife of the buggy.
I've got the chassis put together at this point, and the torsion bar front suspension. It's quite a good bit of detail there in the steering box. And I've also got the rear engine and gearbox assembly done on that too.
Cool.
And the reason why the pin vise is useful for this, and I haven't quite got to it yet, is because given that the engine bay is exposed, I wanted to do the wiring for the engine, like the spark plugs and from the battery to the coil and the distributor as well. And I picked up these really cool detail parts from Tamiya and they're cables in different thicknesses. I've got a they're 2 meters long, so they're super long. You're going to get a lot of use out of these. And one is 0.8 of a millimeter and 0.5. So I'm going to use one. I'm going to use the thinner one as spark plug wires. So they'll go from the distributor to the spark plugs. And then the thicker one, I'll go from the battery to the coil in the distributor. And it'll make it look really nice. And the pin vise is good because I can, because I've got such a wide range of like diameter holes I can use. I can make a nice snug hole for the for that cabling to fit. Because there isn't really provisions for that. They don't really account for anybody doing that. So it allows me to drill really small, precise holes where I can put those spark plug wires in quite accurately. So that's really awesome. So,
That's cool. Looking forward to seeing that.
Engines are always my favorite bit to build.
What's that?
I said I love putting the wheels. I love putting the tires on the wheels, and I love building the engines.
That's a really important detail, especially on a model where it's exposed. Because with the real like Manx buggies, there were a lot of people that would go overboard, and they have all sorts of chrome dress up parts, and like half the engine's pretty much sticking out the back. So not having the wiring and everything is sort of really missing out on a crucial detail. So that'll be cool to work on, because I haven't done that before. I haven't done wiring or plumbing on a scale model car, and they usually don't have those details included in the box. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy thing to do. I also have another model car that I just picked up recently. Couldn't help myself. Yeah, I absolutely love these. So this is the
PS500.
Subaru's first ever car.
It's a Subaru 360, Nick.
That's it, 360. So Subaru's very, very first car.
The Fiat's copied the Subarus.
No, the Japs copied the Fiat, I'm pretty sure.
But Subaru's very first car, post-war Japan, when the majority of its citizens were either riding bicycles or motorbikes or scooters. For a lot of families in Japan, this might have been their very, very first opportunity to own a car. And as the name implies, they only had a 360cc engine, because that's what the government allowed at that point for that particular class of car. So two-stroke, air-cooled, very much like a motorbike, because so many of the Japanese manufacturers at that time had experience with that. It's 1/24 scale, Hasegawa.
Look at that. It's so cute.
It's so tiny.
Is that blue, light blue?
It is. It's a really lovely light blue color.
Yeah,
Nick's in. That's it.
that's it. I mean,
You guys are in? You guys want one of these?
Nick's
Oh, that's
in.
Nick's favorite color.
But I just love these really small P cars, they call them in Japan. It's like a small class of cars that fits within a certain tax bracket, that are quite cheap to own and run, because they have to fit within a very limited spec as far as like overall dimensions and horsepower and engine displacement goes. And it's really something that only exists in Japan. And this is one of the first cars that fit within that sort of classification. And I really can't wait to put this together. One thing I love is that they have decals for the white walls on the tire.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah. And really nicely detailed parts for the interior. So it's all molded in black. This is what they call a curbside kit, so there's no engine detail. But they did put the bonnet and the bonnet and the trunks in the front, because it's rear engine, as pieces that you can add on, simply so that you get realistic looking panel gaps when you apply them to the car. But yeah, really cool kit.
So those tire decals it comes with, are the logos reversed?
Which decals? Sorry,
The tire decals.
I think it's just a white line, isn't it?
it's just a white line. They're just
Oh, is it?
yeah, they're just circles.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes with the tire decals, they're actually reversed. So there's a slightly different technique to actually putting them on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
So sometimes you have to peel them off of the thick cardboard first. So there's a very thin backing.
Yep.
And you've probably got a cover on them. They'll be already slightly self-adhesive. You cut
Okay.
around the decal, you press it on the side of the wall, and then you apply water on the very thin backing that you put on it. But we can check that out later. So you just got to be careful of that, because if they're one of those and you stick it into water, you're going to lose that decal forever because it's so thin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's like using. I've always tried to apply them by hand. I've used the white jelly pens, and I use a circle temper, and that usually works pretty good if you can get that center just right. But there's a long drying time, and it's still really delicate even after the fact. So that'll be nice to actually try a different technique. So thanks for the heads up with that, because you might.
Yeah, we'll check it out, because they started doing that with the Tamiya Formula One cars, just to make it look like they'll spray it on, and they were just a slightly different technique.
Yeah, well, we'll have to explore that, and I'll show you guys the progress as we continue with that.
Yeah, cool.
We had a little bit of news today, guys, didn't we? For Model Railways. So we've been waiting a really long time. Probably the most important announcement of the year, actually, for the Ixion J-Class steam locomotives, and they have just arrived. And we'll have a thorough investigation and a full report next week, I have no doubt. But it's really great to see more Victorian Australian steam locomotives, especially at a really attainable price point. And we were lucky enough to have the company representatives come in a few months ago and show us pre-production prototypes, and we were really, really impressed with how they looked. The reason why the locomotive is so significant is because that was the last steam locomotive that was developed for Victorian Railways, and they were the very last locomotives that were withdrawn from their network. I think the very last one ran in 1972. The majority of them were taken out of service in the late 60s, but they're selling several variants of it. There's a coal burning and an oil burning variant, because they moved at one point within that history in the 50s and 60s. There was a coal shortage, so they converted some to run oil. And there's a few other little details that are very specific. So it's a really, really fantastic locomotive. Very good value for money, and I'm really excited to share more of that when we get a chance to have a closer look.
It's been a long time in the making, because I think we first saw some a working prototype 2 years ago, and we've got a video of that.
2019, yes. I just put the video, actually.
And I'm sure it would have been in progress way before then, before we could even see a working prototype. So, yeah. It's big news.
Should be good. So looking forward to next week. We should have one here on the live next week, isn't it? I'm sure
Absolutely.
we will. So should be good. Good. Excellent. Thank you for that. So looking forward to this one. And so talking about buggies, I heard Warwick noticed making a comment on the buggy. Is that true?
I think it's the unofficial night of the buggy, isn't it? Buggy night.
Is it the unofficial night?
I don't know.
Show me your buggy.
Show you your buggy.
Get your buggy out.
Yeah. So I've been working on the Tamiya holiday buggy.
Oh,
yeah, I know it's learning curve. Learning curve was rather steep on this one. I liked so Morgan, the English car company, has been doing cars forever, and they've been building them the same way since about 1950. Recently, they bought out the Morgan CXT, which is this totally cool looking. It's kind of a rally spec edition of a typical Morgan Plus 4, and it just looks wild. Massive wheels. It was beige. It just ticked all the boxes as to cool factor, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. So slightly out of my price range. They're about £200,000 each. They're going to make 8 of them, and then make more on top of that, depending on demand. So I'm like, well, why don't we just use that as inspiration and try and, do something with it? And obviously, there's no kit of it. Is there any Morgan kits? I don't think I've ever seen a Morgan kit.
No,
I don't think so either.
Themselves.
Huh?
I think they use a kit themselves and hand whittle it out of elms and stuff.
They do. They do. I did a bit of a deep dive after I watched the videos on it was on Carfection on YouTube, and then I had a look at a video of the Morgan factory, and yeah, literally they are made out of wood. It's a steel chassis subframe, and then there's wooden bucks, and then on top of the wooden bucks is the hand beaten aluminium bodies. So they're as old school as it gets. And obviously, you know, cars were made like that. All cars were made like that at one stage.
Well, they're effectively coach builders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it started obviously from coach building, and then with the introduction of the motor car 100+ years ago, yeah, made the transition over, and some companies never moved on. So after I'd done the Grasshopper, I enjoyed that so much because I've got this weird thing where I really like building RC cars, but I hate building plastic model kits, but I like painting. So RC cars have actually been a bit of a revelation because the enjoyment factor, and especially for the money, like some of the retro Tamiya cars, are really, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of how affordable they are and how many hours worth of fun you get out of making them, they're actually really super value. Especially if you want to do some modding and you like painting, you can get one of the cars, like the like the Beetle, for example, that's got the ABS body, and you can just go crazy with the paint, have some fun. So I got the holiday buggy, and it now pretty much looks nothing like the holiday buggy.
Oh, big reveal.
It's not finished. It's not finished. Something is liable to fall off at any stage because it is literally just on there. But there it is. Dun, 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 dun.
Whoa.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's looking pretty complete.
Yeah, it sort of is. I haven't finished painting the dude, and I haven't got the magnets for the body.
He's driving on the wrong side.
Yeah, I know.
Even from Morgan.
Well, I think they face backwards in Morgan's. I don't know. So this is a color I like to call racing beige.
Racing beige.
Yeah, it's been tested in a lab to be faster than both black and red. So you heard it here first, folks. Racing beige.
A lab.
So I want to say first off that anyone who wants to try and do
you should call that color. You should call that color melatonin.
Melatonin? I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
You haven't got any. There you go. See, all fixed.
Yeah, it's the same.
Does he talk too?
So people may not know, but I mean, the body is Flexi.
It's rubbery.
It's
more Flexi?
Yeah, look, I didn't know this when I got it, but it's polyethylene, and it is the same sort of rubberiness as the bumper bars on regular RC cars, just to give you an idea. So in terms of filling and painting and doing all that fun stuff, the word nightmare comes to mind. But I think I kind of got away with most of it.
It has nice panel gaps.
Yeah, well,
Unlike a Morgan.
I stupidly decided to scribe those. The body has no panel lines at all. And panel lining PE is kind of like panel lining chewing gum. It's horrible.
It was dragging, was it?
Yeah, it chatters because it's springy. So you think it's fine, and then you drag the scriber across, and it's like, oh my God. So if you look really close, it looks like the entire body is held together with zippers because it's got that going across. It's not a good look. And so as a result, when I got it, I was like, okay, how am I going to? This thing's made out of rubber. How am I going to paint it? So that was the learning curve on this, the big experiment. I've never really painted anything. I painted it, obviously the Grasshopper is is an ABS body, so that's pretty straightforward. You just paint it like you would any other plastic. So this thing was a combination of a couple of things. The first thing was I sanded it with about 400 grit to sort of fur it up a bit, because it was like gloss, completely shiny. If you tried to spray anything on it, it would just peel off. So I hand sanded the whole thing with 400 grit, and then Tamiya makes this fantastic. It's a primer. It's a clear primer, and it comes in one of the small cans. And it's for nylon and polypropylene. It's unicorn tears. I don't know what's in it or how it works. It's total voodoo, but it has etch properties like nothing else, like absolutely nothing else. Unless you forget to spray a bit, because it is clear, like I did, and you might have, say, pulled a whole chunk of paint off with Tamiya masking tape accidentally. Unless you do that, it's fantastic. It really sticks to the flexible plastics like you wouldn't believe, and then you can paint over the top of it with whatever you want. And so I chose to go with the SMS paints, and I use their Flex agent, which they sell as a separate thing. Again, lacquer-based system. You can use it in any lacquer you like. I've used it in Tamiya, Mr. Hobby, SMS. It doesn't care, but what it does is it has a bit of a retarding action, but also, obviously then allows it to give it a bit of flex without, completely just falling off. So a bit of a learning curve there, but yeah, it was sort of worth it just for the knowledge base. I mean, I know I can paint flexible things now. I know what you need to do it. The other thing I had success with painting flexible stuff with is this Tamiya clear metal primer. Now this and the primer for nylon and polypropylene, I suspect they've got acetone or some mild acid in it that just allows it to bite into the substrate like nothing else. So I think that's what lets it do its sting. Yeah.
How do they feel different? How do you choose which primer to use?
Well, obviously, theoretically, you should choose the metal primer for metal, but I didn't. I just as an experiment, because every project I do is some sort of experiment in stupidity, trying new products and using them in ways that are a little bit off label. And so, yeah, the metal primer is clear. It's quite thick. It smells and acts very similar to the polypropylene one. So, I mean, I don't know if they're the same thing or not, but they're sort of interchangeable, I guess. I ended up decanting my polypropylene primer into a bottle so that I could use it with my airbrush, because it comes out of this at a rate of knots like you wouldn't believe, crazy. It goes on crazy.
Can they give you good coverage?
Yeah, well, out of this, the coverage is not great because you get overspray. It comes out at 1,000 miles an hour. You lose most of it to the atmosphere. But if you decant, I decanted it, and I reckon there's about as much in it as, say, an SMS bottle of lacquers. But then you've got to thin it down 50-50. So it's actually not, I think it was like $15 or something, a can or something. Yeah. It's actually not too bad. And to be honest, if you're going to be spraying something that's flexible, you don't really have a choice. I mean, it is the go-to product for that. So yeah, that was a cool little revelation. That in conjunction with the Flex additive means that, yeah, if you want to paint something that's flexible or something that will take a bit more of a beating and still come back without having the paint just fly off, those two products are really cool. And of course, the other cool thing about this car is, of course, these wheels.
The wheel nuts.
Experimental, tough resin. Now we're gonna run this car when it's done. I've got some shocks on the way from Racing, I think, in Hong Kong. They haven't arrived yet, of course, like everything, but they're on their way. So the car's been lowered about 10 mils. I think 10 mils in the back and 5 mils in the front. So it's more of a dirt road kind of thing. It's not a full off-road buggy anymore. So I've ordered the appropriate shocks for it, which will just bolt straight on, and they happen to be anodized brown, which is very nice. Very nice of them to do that for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so it should go very nicely with these wheels, and we'll give them a run, and we'll see how tough they are. They are made with the tough resin, so theoretically they should be tough. But we'll see. We'll see. They're very nice. They just look fantastic.
Looks
They
funky.
really sort of set it off. And these are based on the Speedline course. Yeah, Speedline course wheels. A very faithful reproduction. And I've got a couple of others in the works that, I don't know, maybe we'll try and stick on someone else's car. I've got a design for a sort of a modern take on the Fuchs wheels. And another one. Oh, the Jelly Bean, the classic buggy Jelly Bean pattern from the 70s, which is kind of like a dished, polished wheel with 5 Jelly Bean cutouts on it. So yeah, we'll try those over the next couple of weeks and see how they stand up. And if they stand up and if people aren't too scared off by the sticker price, we might, I don't know, give it a crack. One other thing that I discovered, which I'm sure everyone knows about, but you know, I'm not an RC guy. I just play one on the internet, right? So the other thing I discovered was that you can actually get self-tapping hex screws, which
I've
are
seen them used in speakers before.
yeah, well, they're obviously much nicer than the and they look more scaled than the Phillips head ones that you get with all the Tamiya kits. So these are really cool, actually. And they kind of, I mean, they are big, but they kind of look a little bit more scale.
Yeah.
And they kind of just see that, you can see them there. And they kind of just disappear a little better than the big silver things. So that was a cool find. So yeah, if you want to, sorry, go.
Does your driver have a name?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a contest.
Bruce,
He's Mr. No Face at the moment.
What does he look like? Is he old? Is he
Call me
young?
Bruce.
Does he have
Bruce.
a moustache? Who
I
knows?
don't know. Can you
Nah,
even
no
see?
moustache yet. Ooh.
He's definitely not wearing a mask.
He's got no face.
He's not from
He's
Melbourne.
faceless. He only drives buggies, so he doesn't have to wear a mask. Did I blind you with that? Hopefully not. And yeah, so that's. I mean, we'll do some. Once it's all together, we'll do some photos and some social on it, and on the buggy, and yeah, see what people think. Be cool to see other people's projects too, because I know that quite a few of the guys at the Hobby Man are really big into custom crawlers and things like that. Reese does some fantastic jobs. Dennis does some. Dennis is just to me a fiend. He does some really nice work as well. So it'd be great to see that. And the last thing from me is my RC car journey. I'm putting a pin in that for the moment and going back to science fiction, everybody, because that's my jam. Ultraman.
what's that?
Is that like a
Ultraman.
normal man, but
What's he got in his arms?
Guns.
No.
Guns.
Lolly dispensers.
Lolly
Son of
dispensers.
Yes.
Yes, man.
Yeah. Kill him with diabetes.
That's it.
So I'm looking forward to getting to that. I have cracked the box open because I can't help myself. And seriously, there's like 15 sprues in here. Like it's 1/12 scale. So it's like, it's only like that big. And there is seriously 10, there's at least 10 sprues in there. So I don't know what's going to pop out at the end of it, but we'll see. We'll see. I've never built one before. because that's how I roll. So it'd be cool to get one of those under my belt. And yeah, I'll post pictures and socials on it as I sort of work through it. I still actually don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I've got some ideas, but most of them are well beyond my skill set. So we'll see how we go.
I thought you said we were going to build a stock. I thought it was going to be a stock build. Is it change of plan already?
Yeah, I
I
heard
don't
that
know.
too.
Are we contractually obligated to do a stock build?
I heard someone say palette cleanser.
Palette
Samples.
cleanser. Yeah, palette cleanser. I'd like to actually finish something. That would be nice. I've literally got 5. I've still got 5 unfinished projects from this year that are just sitting there. They're waiting for bases. I really want. I really hope Bunnings would hurry up and open up so I can get some provisions and make some bases. Get some bases happening. So that's my report for the week. There you go. I hope you enjoyed.
I'm busy.
Busy week. Yes.
Well, I didn't build the buggy in a week. Don't get me wrong. It's what is it? Has it been a month? Probably spent a month on it, maybe more.
Probably longer.
Probably longer. Yeah.
I've
been doing a lot of waiting.
Melburnians don't really have a good fixation on time at the moment. What have you got
We
there, Nick?
have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should revisit that.
Still a
What have we
Fiat.
got?
Is it green?
We've had some guesses, haven't we?
It's a green Fiat. I think there's some guesses.
It's not green, is it?
It's got an
I think my
extra
grandma
wheel.
had that car. I'm pretty
It
sure.
wasn't a good guess there
Yeah,
earlier.
this guess here, which I think is pretty accurate. Yeah, also this one.
Hmm.
I think these guys are just car spotters.
So definitely
It's so
a
small.
no spin. Definitely no
Can you
spin.
give us a hint, Nick? What is it from Europe? Is it from like Asia? Is it from?
I think there was a couple of guesses already that kind
I
of.
think the
yeah.
odds thing is correct. I think we got the correct name, the correct make. But we need a bit more. So what we need the model, and I don't think we have a year for this car. I don't have that information, but we got a model name
Model name.
and the
Well,
color.
we've got Morris 1100 and Austin 1800.
No, we're not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet.
Is it something like a super speed?
Super speed, yeah. Well, could be.
That is going fast standing.
It's
still,
extended.
In the meantime, my boxes are getting very
I
antsy.
think your boxes are
Are
exploding.
they now?
My boxes have been smashed, thrashed, and crashed this week with all the incoming stock. Been all sorts of strife going on here. I need to speak to young Alan at Tix RD to get us some bigger boxes that will fit more of the goodies. So let's dive in and have a look. Now the first one, I think, which is probably the most exciting to a lot and just as awkward for me. What have we got here? Help me out, guys.
Oh,
That is Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver.
it's a
A box of
pen.
cigars.
Arrowmax pen.
A hot
This
dog.
is the new, highly anticipated and muchly hyped SES range of electric screwdrivers.
Oh,
They've got
wow.
a beautiful alloy pop case. We've got magnetized bits here. Now you can see that these are squarely aimed at more your electronics and fine sort of stuff. Allen key wise, which is more familiar to myself as an RC guy, is sort of up to 2 mil. Now there's 3 in the range. They are
Wow.
motion sensor control, blindingly bright for your work area. Now what you can do is you can put that in, and that will sense which way you're twisting it, and the amount of torque to be applied by indeed how far you're twisting it. So if I just twist it a little bit, it'll just go like slow on one setting. if I twist it a lot, it'll go up in RPM and torque. So there's 3 in the range. There's there's 3 different price points. I actually can't believe how cheap these are. These are rechargeable lithium-ion powered devices.
Was that USB-C?
USB-C. USB-C charging port.
So is it a torque wrench? I'm
Effectively,
confused.
yes. Yes.
Oh, right. So it doesn't actually do the screwing for you. It's a digital.
No,
torque
it does the screwing. It will stop
It's
at a
motorized.
set torque.
Oh, okay.
So I think one of them, the SES Pro, if I'm not mistaken, is actually Bluetooth controlled. You can dial in the settings from a Bluetooth app on your phone. The SES mid-range one, I suppose you call it. Beautiful case. The SES mid-range one has, I think, 4 torque settings, like half a kilo, kilo and a half, and 2 kilos of torque applied to the screw. And the SES Mini is, I think it's just predetermined as 1 torque setting, but you physically like have the undoing or doing up direction, counterclockwise or clockwise direction on the screwdriver itself. So unfortunately, these only arrived just yesterday afternoon. So unfortunately, I haven't had much time to do much research and apply them to anything yet, but hopefully over the weekend. So this one here, this is the mid-range one, and you can see here we've got the torque settings that I'm changing here. So this is the one with the torque settings.
Yeah.
So you can set that to torque 2, for example, and then we can screw it in, and then we can unscrew it. Whereas the other one I was doing was motion controlled. So what would feel the resistance on the screwdriver itself. Again, this one's USB-C chargeable. And yeah, so they all come with like 34 bits of different sizes. Like I said, for RC, it's mainly specialized bits, Phillips head, torque screws, and flat blades, and security bits, which is the hollowed out torque screws.
I guess if you're opening up stuff like that.
It's really aimed at Arrowmax. Have really aimed this one fairly and squarely at the electronics market, and not so much the RC car market. Much to
I guess drones, speed controllers, radios. If you were to, to having to fiddle with your radio, speed controllers, even drones.
Absolutely, all that stuff. Absolutely, mini Zs, all that sort of stuff. What it's not capable of. The 3 that we have is assembling my E189 RS. It's probably going to struggle a bit, but I think that's going to be applicable to different technologies as moving forward. But let's see what comes.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been much hyped about and eagerly anticipated, and I think they're going to be really popular. And it's going to open Arrowmax.
I want in my top drawer.
Sorry?
That's just something I want in my top drawer. Let's face it. I mean, every dude needs that in their lives. It's not like RC or otherwise, right?
Yeah, but you're expected to fix things.
Yeah, that's right.
You couldn't get that out, Warwick, and then not fix something. You know what I mean? Like,
you have to break something so you can fix it.
Even if I just open it up, I just have to open it up and just go check it out.
Just open up and lose the screws. Like, it can open up real quick.
And then when your friends come around, you can show them.
So
you want to open up like a CD player.
So these are on shelves today, and I'm expecting that we'll sell an awful lot over the weekend and into next week. And like I said, these have been coming for at least 6 months now, Nick. I think they've been in the pipeline and coming, and so it's really a good reach out and branch out for Arrowmax. While I'm on the Arrowmax bandwagon, however, now I touched a little bit on this potentially a month ago now. And this is Arrowmax limited edition black and gold honeycomb. I think I had one tool, which is all that we got in the range. However, this week, have a look at this. It was like Christmas.
Wow.
So I've treated myself and got myself a new RC toolkit. And have a look at this. This is probably the most radical thing that we'll see. And that's the 5.5 mil nut driver. And it's been hollowed out and machined just to differentiate it from the rest of the range. And I suppose that's good for mud and just lightweight and just to be a point of difference. Now, people say, oh, that's not really good, or that's not much different from your other stuff or whatever. And here's my other stuff, which is years old now and ever faithful. But you can see here, they have indeed changed the design. It's got smaller hexes. It's actually 3-stage anodized now. So there's black, gold, and white. So the text on the new one is actually white. It's not just machined, whereas this one here is just grey and silver. And anybody who's built, again, I come back to the 8-scale buggy. Anybody who's built or worked on an 8-scale buggy a lot will know that this here is a godsend, because these hexes, although good looking, are quite hard on your hands. And they do offer good grip, but especially on my precious little hands, they take a toll if I'm, trying to do anything serious. So I'm hoping these new ones, not only will they make me look faster and feel better about myself, but hopefully they're more functional and beautiful to boot.
I like the way how Arrowmax on their tool handles, they've got those lines machined into them, so you can easily see what size they are.
Absolutely. So this one here, you can see here, it's got 2 thick lines and 1 thin line.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's 2.5 mil. And straight away, I can identify this one here. I mean, it says it also around the corner here, 2.5 mil. This one here, let's have a guess what this one is.
Ooh.
1.5.
1.5. Thank you, BJ. The birthday boy has got it right. 1.5 indeed. One thick line, 1 thin line. And you can see that carries on, across the range. This one here, 2 fat lines.
Definitely 2.0.
2.0 indeed. Look at this guy.
Look at that.
We're onto it. So, and that's something that they've carried over indeed. They don't have it on their nut drivers. Got 1 thick line there, 5.5. But everybody gets a feel for where they put their stuff. All of us RC guys have sort of got the idiosyncrasies. I've got mine in a little kit here, as you can see, and I'm really looking forward to, putting that new stuff in it. So that is really, really cool. What else have I got in my box?
Ooh, get the charger.
Oh, the charger. I was going to dive down to the bottom. The charger, indeed. So this is, in fact, this is going to lead into another story, unfortunately. So this is the TRC A3 Pro. Now, people will say, Brett, what are you doing with this? This is, in fact, a peak charger, a LiPo charger, and a life battery charger. So the reason that I've grabbed this week is that I am going to be using certain cars over the weekend. I'm going to be playing, and I really want to see what people are getting out of these. So this is a 2-amp charger, and I've got a battery here, and I've got a couple of ready-to-run cars, and I want to actually see how long it takes to charge a battery, how warm it should be, and everything like that, because me being an impatient bugger, and and with freezers and fancy chargers over there behind me, I can charge these things at like 7, 10, 12 amps, whatever I see fit. If I want to go and play in 5 minutes, I will put 20 amps in this thing, and bring it near the edge of its life. But this one here, I want to see what people are actually actually getting. They're like $35. You know, it's a popular upgrade. So, and I've also got here to match that a 2400 milliamp battery. And that's got the ever favorite Tamiya connector. Now, that's not even something of my youth, but I just love it for its simplicity and its nod back to the very start of RC. Yeah, so looking forward to giving this a work as opposed to what's in it. With that one, can anybody think what this is going into?
Oh, is that true?
What I've got, what I've got here is an even big opinion for
Hit my spirit.
for the VRX bullet. So I've gone up from a
bullet.
23 tooth to a 29 tooth. You know what? And that's brought it to about 7-1. And that's fine for garden and grass play, but I want to see what it's actually capable of when I start pushing the boundaries. So I've got here a 32 tooth, 48 pitch, and that should get it down to about 6.5, I think 6.4-1, and start pushing the boundaries of the stock 540 motor, which was the exact intention on bringing it home. Next one here is the perennial favorite Hot Bodies wing. Now this is going on the 8 scale buggies, not the 10 scales, the 8 scale buggy like this one over here in the corner. Now the reason I've got that is not just to show the wing, but to show the latest offerings from J-Spec Sticker and Designs. Now he does a lot of our RC race work and shop stuff. So this is a wing skin. It's about 7 or 8 pieces of 12 pieces of sticker kit, and that's going to cover the panels on that wing and give it like a painted look, but obviously be a lot more durable to dress it up a bit instead of having individual stickers. And what else J-Spec sent us was these new to him is the range of fluoro sticker sheets. He's able now to, you can't see it because I've probably left the backing on there, but it's bright fluoro, like yellowy green. If we get close, we can see here what I've actually had made up.
And they're all pre-cut as well.
They are pre-cut and they're all going on. Now, this isn't a Hot Bodies and it's not a Yokomo. It is, in fact, the VRX bullet. So this is the war paint sticker sheet. It's going to go on a $220 ready to run buggy to go racing. Now, it may not be the fastest buggy on the track or the strongest buggy on the track, but you know what? It's going to have pretty good factory looking stickers. While we were at it, we had some made up on behalf. These are for the YZ4 and the YZ2 that's going to go in for the 1/10 off-road stuff that we're going to put on the track in the very near future.
Cool.
So that is Brett's first box smashed and empty.
First
Any
box.
questions, queries, or things that I've probably rushed through?
Well,
Nothing. Crickets.
Can you do my Ultima next?
Your Ultima.
Yep, pimp my Ultima.
Pimp your Ultima. I think we should go out and have a bash off.
I think so
I
too.
got 540. I got one of the Tamiya 540 motors, the race spec ones, lying
The
around.
race
I was going to put it in the holiday buggy, but that just seemed like a total waste of time. I was going to put it in the grasshopper, but that also seems like a total waste of time. So I should probably stick it in the Ultima.
This one here has a race spec River Hobbies RH0029 550 with internal fan. So this is just a horsepower monster. Now this is the car that's going to receive that trick little sticker sheet, and we might even do a video or get it out and about on the street.
Nice.
Should be good.
Do you want me to snatch another box, or does somebody else want to have a go?
This is what I got.
Oh, look at
What do you
that.
got?
Look
That's
at that.
pretty, isn't it?
Wait, let me put
It
you
is
in big
pretty.
screen.
I only
Jesus
bought it because it was pretty. Super stock. BZ. So yeah, that's going to go in something.
So it's got
Might as well
the,
be the bottom up.
blue and red.
Can you do that?
of
Can
Tamiya on it.
you put Tamiya stuff in Kyosho? Is that
For like
Oh,
sacrilege.
yeah.
It may or may not burst into
That's
flames.
sacrilege? I won't be led into the gates of heaven. Tamiya
Well,
heaven.
back in the days, and I think BJ will confirm this, that like Le Mans motors, which is a Porsche option house motor, was like the motor to have.
Yeah.
And that
So you
went
had the
in
240 series, you had your 360 series, you had your 480 series. And those numbers corresponded to the number of minutes for racing. So the 240s were the faster motors because they only last like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And you got your
Oh, right. Before they blow up.
360s
Or,
were long, and they were designed for boats and stuff. They were like the 550 long can. And then you had your 480s, which were meant to be for 12-scale racing, 8-minute racing.
What car have we got there, Nick?
Okay, I was going to bring this up because looks like we have it. Look at this. Whoops.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
That's pretty specific, isn't it?
this is very specific. It's not
Comes
They
in
custom.
with
called
the right colour
it
t-shirt
blue?
on and his emoji.
So this is from Oxford, actually. This is the brand, as you can see. So this
Like
is
the
176 scale, which is a 00 scale, so typical for railway layouts. There we go. Look at
Nice.
Austin. Same scale
Oh,
of the one
nice.
we had last week, more or less. Very tiny, very detailed. It's got interiors. Probably can't see it, but there's some good interiors. Steering wheel. All in super small scale.
I can't believe they called it
Was
Pageant
it?
Blue. Did they want to sell any? Or Pageant Blue?
Pageant blue. I know.
Yeah.
Did you say
You
it
can
was
only use it
1100
to
cc?
take your day to the coming out ball or whatever.
I think they affectionately called those cars the land crab when they came out.
The land
Right.
crab.
Land crab. Yeah, it was quite a revolutionary car, I guess. I get like mid '60s front wheel drive. Had a pretty spacious, like space efficient layout.
Yeah, it's huge.
But yeah, the land crab, that was a nickname for those.
A land crab in Pageant Blue.
Yeah.
I'm
Great, it's a
sold.
winner.
Sign me up. Where can I get one?
Meanwhile, I think we have to report this. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Pete.
yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for the birthday wishes.
Looks like everyone is aware of it.
So
What
good.
have you got for us, birthday boy?
Huh?
What have you got for us?
What have I got for you?
Yeah,
let's
come
see.
on. Get it out.
How's that?
We want cake.
That's it. What?
That's not cake.
Cake. We could make it into a cake. Have a bit of roughage.
Oh,
Put on top
Is it
of the
jelly?
cake.
Well, this particular kit isn't exactly new. It's been around for a while, but we got a recent restock of Thunder model. And I thought this is a really nice kit because this is actually the Indian motorcycle that was used in World War II. And it's actually something that I started building a while ago. And that's this little fella. So it's got heaps of photo etch on it. You may not be able to see because I modified this figure to fit. Right, so I haven't got the handlebars on it. No, I just dropped the seat and I just dropped something else, but let's see some of the photo etch on it.
You want to try some glue, BJ?
Glue, what's that? And then the best bit are the spokes, because you see how fine the spokes are? They're actually photo etched.
What do you mean? They're like,
they're metal.
Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Fine,
So that's
fine
really
metal.
cool. The thing
You have
about
to
this
solve them one by one.
is, so a lot of people would think it's probably a bit expensive for a bike, but actually in the packet you get 2 bikes. So let's have a quick look. All right, so you can just see the photo etch there. There's actually 2 sheets of photo etch for each bike. You can see how much is actually included. I mean, there's the saddlebag covers, and you can just see the 2 pieces that are used to make the chain and the sprocket. Makes it so fine. And there's a bit of fine wire in there too for a bit of plumbing. That's got some of the clear bits in there as well. But yeah, so there's one kit, another kit. There's actually a lot of parts for making each model. And it comes up really well. So that's going to be part of my diorama. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the paint schemes. That's going to be in one of my tank dioramas. So that's the Panther 2 that I started a while ago. So you get a better idea there again. Super nice. And just a little thing like this, and you add all this extra detail in it. You see the footrest as well, a photo etched brass. And then I've just hinged that, so that's moving as well. So
Okay, so just curiously, B, that's an American motorcycle, and the Panther is a German tank. What's the plans there, buddy?
Well, that's a German paratrooper that found one on the side of the road and thought it would take it for a ride. That's totally feasible, isn't it? He would have picked up anything.
Americans.
It's really nice Indian biker sitting there.
Anymore.
Huh?
Oh, it's all about Harley Davidsons now, not about Indians. I'm just going to dump it on the side of the road and let some Jerry.
You never know what happened to him. Well, this guy could have just pinched it off him.
It's the mystery of storytelling. It's great.
You never know. Like you're going to see it there and you're going to think, hang on, that's American. What's that doing there? And then there'll be another story, you know. Don't know. It's all a mystery of it. And part of that, so these are the Hearns Workshop ammo cases that we did a while ago. And they're going to be part of the diorama as well because they're going to be resupplying. So we'll see those in there.
Look at those handles. Oh, the handles. Those
the handles.
Dracula's handles.
Super fine.
Yeah. So the handles.
The handles that defy physics. Look at that.
You see that? No? Maybe?
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Very nice. Okay, so that's that. What else have I got? I've got a bigger kit here. So this sort of turned up during the week as well. It's a really big box. So 48 scale of the F18. And this is the early version. So this is the AEB. And the Australian Air Force were using this. So these were purchased to replace the Mirages that Australia had, and they were getting pretty old. And so they replaced them with brand new F18s all the time. And they're pretty much the same as the American ones, except they just removed a few things that were on the American ones used for aircraft carrier launching and landing, like the catapult, because Australia doesn't have any aircraft carriers. And then that's it. The great thing about this particular kit is you can make it either a single-seater, which you see down here, or with a few different bits that they also supply, you can make the twin-seater as well. So let's have a quick look in here.
Single
It's pretty
seater.
impressive the way this has been put together. Okay, so it's basically been split horizontally, and you've got the wings on there. And the great thing about that is because the wing sections, when you put those together, generally the wing breech sections have got the biggest gaps in them. So by doing this, you have zero gap. You only have to worry about the side panels here, where it's going to join. So that's the lower half. And the lower half is going to be covered up by the horizontal stabilizers quite a lot anyway. So that's going to save that a bit. So you've got that, that's the top of the fuselage. Lots of bits and pieces. Okay, so you've got your clear part. So that's going to have the canopies for the single seater and the twin seater in there. And then comes with a lot of weaponry. So I love the earlier kits for aircraft. You never got weaponry. You had to buy the extra packs. So Hasgal were famous for doing that. You had to buy 2 kits actually, equip your aircraft. But that's all fully packed. You've got some horizontal stabilizers and such. Let's just, you got the cockpit top there as well. There's a lot of bits. And then here you've got all the stores as well, drop tanks. But one of the really nice parts is this decal sheet. Look how massive it is.
Oh.
Okay, and this is printed by Cartograph. So Cartograph of Italy prints the best decals. They're nice and thin. They're all screen printed.
Is that Australian decals?
Yeah, they're Australian decals. Okay,
Wow.
so these ones here are for the Australian markings, and it's also got the markings here for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Little kangaroos. You got little kangaroos
It's like
jumping
your
around.
birthday.
So it's great, massive, and you see all this, all stenciling too. That adds heaps, particularly to these low visibility aircraft, which had that really dull grey finish. They look pretty bland, really, but once you add these things onto it, it adds so much more character, and it's all included in the kit. And then another bit, which is nice, is some photo etching. So quite often see photo etching included in kits these days. So you can see those circular areas. They're part of the frames for the canopies, and they've got the mirrors, rear vision mirrors, more cast into them as well. And then there's a really complicated part here, which is a bit of detail for the avionics. So it's really good. So that's a kit I've got. So I've gone
I'm
through the two
looking
kits.
forward to seeing you put that one together.
Put it together. What was that? That wasn't part of the deal, was it?
Well, it's your birthday.
It is now.
Hey? Oh,
I thought maybe you got yourself a birthday present.
I guess the other thing I've got is this. Okay, so this isn't new either. But the last time we got these, they sold out really quick. Okay, so
I'm
this
not
is
surprised.
actually
What is
this
it?
is a nozzle cleaner from Green Stuff World. It's a bit hard to see what it is, so I'll crack it open.
I need
So
one.
just
of
like
those
last
in
time
my
I
life.
talked about the filters,
Yeah.
so you got this little thing here. Just unscrew it. And what do you get? You get a shank.
Whoa.
Okay, but
Jesus,
no, you're not meant to use it as a shank. So
you are.
basically what you got
dangerous
here,
man.
let me see if I can get that focused. Maybe not. Maybe. It's actually it's the shape of an airbrush needle, but it's been flattened on one side. So it's actually a reamer.
If
Okay,
you
so
put
the
that
idea
near
behind
my,
this
if you put that
is
near
when you
my
get-
9 steps airbrush nozzle, it would freak.
yeah, it'll be fine. Just pop it in there. You got to be careful that you don't
Be
push
fine.
too hard because, like I say, as a reamer, you quite easily damage your nozzle.
Well, you
So-
have to be gentle.
You just got to be gentle. And this is for when you've got really massive blockages in your nozzle. So just say you've been using a heap of
acrylic.
acrylic paints, and they dry really quick in the nozzle. So no matter how much thinner you put onto a really badly blocked needle, the thinner is not going to penetrate all the way through. So this is where you give it a bit of a helping hand. So you jab it in there, rotate it gently without pushing the nozzle too much, because if you push it too much, you're going to enlarge the nozzle hole. But once you've released it, that's where you pull it out, and then you rely on thinners to clean out the rest. But that's very handy.
I kind of wish I had one of those last week, because like my airbrush was running fine, and then all of a sudden nothing would come out of it.
No, you had a rock stuck in there, it looked like.
A microscopic rock. I posted it on Instagram, the thing that was blocking my airbrush. I still don't know what it is. It was just a little bit of gunk. But
A bit of corn stuck in the end.
just stopped it
Got
dead,
what?
and that would have been super helpful.
Yeah, so that's really handy. And it's good how it's got this really big cover as well, because you don't want to jab yourself with one of these. So you imagine just like that, just pop it in your drawer or anywhere, and it's just there when you need it. Handy. It's good.
Yeah, that and the little pipe cleaners in your set, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just some simple tools to get you out of trouble when you need it.
And this is part of a big delivery of green stuff we received this week, obviously. So full restock of
Yeah, massive.
different green stuff world. Massive. Yeah.
Hmm.
Good. Very good.
What's we got?
I think Brett has got one more box, isn't it?
Before we leave tonight, can I just visit another box? Now, we touched briefly on a Christmas delivery. Now, again, it seems like we've gone away from RC racing, and indeed you have, but you can race anything RC. It doesn't matter what the size. And this is a Tornado 1/18. Now, obviously, I've taken it out of the box and put it into one of my boxes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Brett's box. It'd be somebody else's box. So you can see here we've got a beautiful 2-channel control transmitter with a smaller than usual throttle trigger for designed specifically for smaller fingers. That's right. We've got a USB charger here for the lithium-ion battery that comes with it. That's 1100 milliamps, and that is going to give you a good 20 minutes runtime. And obviously, we've got a comprehensive instruction showing you what to and what to not do, what to look out for, and that sort of thing. Now, these little Tornado cars, I think there's 7 different flavors, and by flavors, I mean it's effectively the same car chassis running gear. They put different body, bumper, and wing on the back. So this is my favorite, and that's why I bought it. It's green and orange. I've got a bit of an affliction with green, so
No.
yeah, I would like to show this off. And these things are quite fast and capable at I think like 30 to 40 kilometers an hour.
They go mega fast for their size.
Almost too
Sorry?
fast, yeah.
Yeah, they go mega fast for their size.
Yeah. They're very small and diminutive in stature, but they're also very light. So what we find is first-time RC customers and that, like, it's definitely a step up from what we call toy RCs, in that it is quite fast, but it tends to bounce off. It's got a bit of a crumple zone here in the bumper bar assembly, and even if you do snag a wheel or an outrigger, it will just tend to bounce off because it really only weighs about like 300 or 400 grams with
They're
battery.
4-wheel drive as well, aren't they?
They are 4-wheel drive, yep. Yeah, and they've got 2 open diffs, and they're capable. Like we tell most customers, like that they are splash proof, but they are capable of a bit of off-road work, a small jumping, but they are good also inside because they're small enough at 1/18 scale. Yep. So these are really cool. I thought I would bring one on and show you. I don't think I've ever had one in my box before. It's got a cute little antenna. 2.4 gig, so you could have like 20 or 30 of these and they still wouldn't clash with each other. The parts are replaceable on them, so we do have a full parts catalog and listing. Should you break a shock absorber or a tie rod end, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Spare batteries, and yeah, they charge up in about an hour or 2, and they go for about 20 minutes. And yeah, they're really cool. And I thought I would show you because we've got a big mountain of them in all shapes and sizes, color wise. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things this week.
Well, they're really the entry into RC, aren't they? I mean, we've sold hundreds of those things.
Yeah.
And I can count on both hands the amount that we've had come back. So
Yeah.
they're a great little truck.
Yeah, they are. And if little Johnny tends to wrench on the transmitter or break it, and it doesn't matter whether it's an 18 scale Tornado or whether it's a $1,000 7PXR, he will break the transmitter. A transmitter for these is like $27. Like, know, it's quite good and achievable, and the parts are available. So like Warwick said, very few come back, very few break, and we have people bring them in after like 2 years and say, oh, can you service this for us? And the wheels are hanging off and the tires are bored, and it's fantastic. And they just bring smiles and they bring fun. And, for the $100 odd price point, they're fantastic. Stocking filler and yeah, general good little RC car. Big fan.
Brilliant.
No, they're definitely good.
Good fun. And it's like 7 different colors, even more.
Yeah,
6,
there's
7,
like
8,
6 or 7 different colors and shapes,
including pink.
Yeah, there's pink one. Oh, yeah. There's 6 or 7 different ones, different shapes and sizes, and you could, like I say, collect them all. Why wouldn't you have one of each?
One for each day of the week.
Exactly. Why would you stop at one?
I agree.
It's And you can see what you're getting. So you know if you get a blue one, then the next week you can get a red one, and then the purple one, and then the pink one, and you get them all. Get the whole team. That way, if you get people coming over for a barbecue, for us Victorians, it's a bit of a fantasy. But you got people coming over for a barbecue. Hey, let's get the tornadoes out. Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like the best barbecue ever. Anyway, that's my tips.
Good.
Good one.
Very good. Okay, then. So I think we're done for tonight almost. Let's see if anyone has any questions, but I think we've done a big, long show tonight. Trains, RC, kids, all kind of things. Cats and dogs.
Questions.
No
Trains,
questions.
planes, automobiles.
Yes, everything covered.
Murphy would like to know where's my pizza.
Where's his pizza?
Yeah, where's his pizza? He wants to know where his pizza is.
You have to check
Warwick,
the
you're looking.
tracking.
Your
Still
dog
with
is
the
looking
Uber
more and
driver.
more like you every week, Warwick.
Yeah. Look, I've got to talk to him about it. I mean, it's a bit embarrassing. He's got to know that he's his own dog.
Contacts.
He's his own dog, and he can be whatever he wants. He doesn't, he doesn't have to. But it's kind of like the anti-BJ actually, and Koo, because
The
like
anti.
Koo's going. There's no way I'm gonna be a jealous cat. I'm gonna rock it, baby. I'm gonna go the full hair.
Oh, dear,
Who?
that's brilliant. No,
Not impressed,
no,
man.
not interested at all.
No, that's an angry face, isn't it?
Not
Pretty
impressed.
upset. You're by the camera now.
All right,
All right.
guys,
So what
I've
are
got
we
to
doing
go
for the
play.
weekend?
Oh, no, dear. What's that?
I've got to go play.
Cool.
Are you
Well,
going out?
We're going to have a picnic competition, I think, this weekend. The Octane versus the
Outlaw.
Outlaw. Oof.
I had a picnic this week, midweek, with the boat. Everybody saw that I had a soggy box last week, and I had the boat in there. We took that out on the Yarra and did some shooting. Did a bit of a review. So hopefully that comes out next week or two. Yeah, Octane, next level.
And that's for next week. Cool, everyone. All right, then. So let's go for the weekend. So thank you, everyone, for joining us again. So
Yeah. Thanks for joining in. Thank you.
Lots of videos coming out this week again. What do we have for this weekend, BJ?
For this weekend?
Video-wise.
Video-wise. Oh, okay, so today we've got the episode of building the Tamiya 48 Phantom. And then, what's tomorrow? Can't remember what's tomorrow. Something good's tomorrow.
Saturday.
And then Sunday we've got the building Andy's car. What's tomorrow?
Surprise.
There you go. Surprise.
Surprise for tomorrow. Anyway, there is a video going out every day, everyone. So just jump on YouTube, subscribe, and
We have to
comment.
talk about the comp.
Oh, the competition. We forgot.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Is this the
Forgot all
last
about
week?
it.
Is that really the last week?
Oh, there he goes. Went flying. So yeah,
All right,
this,
let me
this
put you on the
fella.
big screen.
Steady, mate.
Here we go. Oh, wow.
So that fella. So I don't know, you probably haven't noticed, but these look exactly the same as they have for the last couple of weeks. So this is the weekend where I'm going to try and get these finished. And I hope everyone else is sort of working on them too, because the competition finishes next week. So next Friday, which would be, what's that, the 15th?
15 or so?
Yeah. So there's quite a few of these out there. We've got a few entries already, but to help people along, to get them finished, we've got we extended 2 weeks. So you got 1 week left. And just check out the Facebook events page, and you'll find we've got 2 entries. There's one which is the earlier one, but if you just enter on the later one, that'll be great. And then we'll share the judging between those 2 events. So let's see what we can put up for this comp, and be interested to see what everyone does with all the bits.
We have a couple of people that picked up just a small set of for the competition this week. So one of those sets. So hopefully there's a few more entries coming through.
Yep.
Should be good. Brett is still looking for his one. They've went under the carpet. It's been 3 weeks now, lost.
Well, BJ's got my airbrush cleaner. I was going to airbrush it, and I was having I need that thing from BJ. And
Just get a paintbrush.
I
Get a
know.
paintbrush, you'll be fine.
You reckon?
Paintbrush.
Yeah, paintbrush. Go for it. Don't find excuses. Don't find excuses.
I can find plenty of excuses.
Should be good. Very good.
Actually, before we
Yes.
go, the comp is an actual good segue into the Hearns workshop stuff that we've been literally pumping out the past couple of weeks. We're almost doing like one item a day, or one item a day is in production. And this month has pretty much been all about the 1/16 Sturmgeschütz, of which there are now 3 kits coming out. There's the Das Work one, and Border Models and also Trumpeter have also announced that they're releasing 1/16 Stug. So next year is going to be the year of the big loot. You heard it here first, folks. And to facilitate that, we're going to be working at Hearns Workshop. Huh?
Nothing better than a big shtuk.
The big Stug.
That's right.
Stug 3G. So this week was all about these guys, which are
You lost
which is slippery little suckers. So this is a fire extinguisher,
No.
a Tetra 2 fire extinguisher, which was used. This is a late version. So I think from 43 onwards, these were used. And we also have them. Look at that. 135. 135. So cute. So these are prototypes. They are a little bit different to the production ones. So the 135th production one is going to have the actuator goes in that little square thing at the top. The 135th one is going to come with it already attached, but the 1/16th has it separate, and you glue it in. That way we can orientate everything in the most optimal way, so that we get the highest quality print with the best detail. So yeah, the 1/16th will have the actual actuator there. Just ready to pop in and to add that extra bit of realism. So in the upcoming weeks, we're just going to keep on trucking with the 1/16 stuff. Heaps of other things in the pipeline. We kind of announce them as people show an interest, and then by the time the kits come out, they'll be fully optioned. You'll be able to be as crazy or as tame as you want with the detail, because we'll have all the little accessories and a few other parts more accurate than the original kits. So very exciting, very challenging
indeed.
But well worth looking into if you've got to think of the big little tanks, which, as I said, are the hot ticket 2022.
Oh,
The year of the Stug.
The year of the Stug. Absolutely.
Yes. Cool. Very good. All right then.
Stugfest.
Stugfest.
Die Stugfest, ja.
Go on, everyone.
Cool.
All right then. This is it then. Officially, last one.
Officially. All right,
is
can
it.
I have my pizza now?
We have to end the show before BJ has his next birthday.
I think so. All right then. Everyone, good night.
All right.
Thank you for joining
Thanks,
us.
everyone.
Guys.
And
Good night,
catch you next
everyone. Thanks for
time.
joining us. Have a great weekend.
Enjoy.